Hey, this is Tim Schrock from Design Build Solutions. I'm bringing you today's Tech Tip Tuesday. We're using Chief Architect Premiere version X9, and my tip is on, yes, layers once again. But this thing about layers is how to show how to show an addition and the framing details in a rendering that kind of makes sense with what's being added on versus what's existing, right? So I want to see the model of the existing house, but I want to see the framing of the addition, in perspective with that existing house. Make sense? Okay. Hopefully, as I go along, it'll make sense. Here's what I like to do, is I like to show the renderings of the framing details along with the framing plans right on my construction documents. I've got the, first I showed you the floor framing, this is the ceiling framing, and now I'm getting to the roof framing. Well, when I show this roof framing, let's go to plan view here and framing roof annotations. You can see I'm showing in plan view, I'm showing all of the roof planes, and these are the only ones that are getting framed. Oops, I see a layer that doesn't need to be on in this set, so we'll turn that off. So these are the only roof planes that are getting framed because the rest are existing. But in my rendering, this ridge flying over here, these that are supposed to meet these rafters that are supposed to meet a roof plane that's flying under there, that it just doesn't make a whole lot of contextual sense. Same over this garage area where it creates this valley. So what I like to do, and it's really, I find very quick, is I'm going to hit Q on my keyboard, which gets me into roof mode. I'm going to shift and drag. Of course, I need to make sure I've got my toolbars set up so that I see these selection modes very quickly. I want to select intersected objects versus contained objects, or select objects by center. So I'm going to select intersected objects, Q on the keyboard, shift, drag, and there is a couple of them. I can actually turn off that. I don't need ceiling planes shown in this set, so I'm going to turn that off. Select, drag again, shift drag. I should say shift drag through here and shift drag the garage. So these that I've got selected and highlighted are the ones that are existing. Oops, there's one more. There it is. Okay. These are all of the existing roofs. I'm going to Command E on my keyboard. I'm using a Mac. Your keyboard, if you're using a Windows, your keyboard shortcut is Control E. I'm going to click on Line Style here, and I'm going to define these roof planes. By default, they're on the roof planes layer. And that's great. They're all on the roof planes layer. Let me back up to go forward just a second. I'm going to cancel out of this, and we're going to show you here in rendering. If I were to turn on all the roof planes, I'm going to hit the tilde key and go and hit R for roofs, and roof planes is actually on, huh? That's an interesting turn of events. we may just have to, what if I did this? I may not have to play with layers at all. Typically, if these roof planes are on first floor, they will show up when I'm in my rendering. See, I'm on first floor here. I have to go up to the attic to see the actual planes, and that's different than what Chief has done historically here, so I'm a little confused. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to select all these roof planes, and we're going to put them down, display them on the floor below, and check out our perspective and see what happens. And look at that. There you go. This isn't Stump the Wizard Day, but hey, it almost worked. But we quickly got around it. So I may have to just, yeah, that's what I'll do. But you see what I'm talking about in context. Now this addition makes a lot more sense with the context of the existing roofs remaining in the rendering. I think it does anyway. So I'm going to show this. I'm going to make sure I'm on the right page for my layout with the roof plans. That's great. And then send it over to layout. I'm going to make sure I send it as an image, not a live view, because I'm going to actually have to change it back so that it shows in plan view like I want it to. Send it as an image to page number 6. I'm going to select that image and Command E and make it 10 inches wide. That's what I know that's what I want it to be. Probably could actually make it 12 inches wide because that's kind of just the aspect of it works there. Go back to this. I'm going to copy this text over here and do that. Now, if you are not using the version of X9 that I am using, I'm going to go through how I typically did it. Let's bring it back. I'm going to go down to layer, the foundation, Q on my keyboard. I'm going to shift drag all of them because these are now all of the existing roof planes, and put that back up on the floor above, display on the floor above. So if I do that and go back to my rendering, in my version, you're going to see how it doesn't show up here. Back to floor plan, I'm going to shift through and select all of the existing roofs. This is for those of you who are not using the latest update of Chief Architect Premiere X9. And I'm going to Command E, go back into line style, define, and copy this. So I want the existing roof planes to be on roof planes, and I'll change this to be existing. And just by copying all the layer sets that have, it copied the attributes of the roof planes layer as well. So any layer set that has roof planes on, roof planes existing will remain on, unless you don't want them to be on. You'll have to go back and change them. So I'm going to click OK, and then in my rendering, if I were to, now I have control of my layers. If you were to turn on roof planes and see all of the roof planes, and you don't want that, because if you have the roof, even the new roof planes on, you can't see through that surface, and you can't see the rafters, the framing part of it. So you could, now in this camera view, you could turn off roof planes, leave the existing ones turn the existing ones on and have the look that you want to do. It's just not working for the way Chief operates with roof planes now, which is something I've not played with yet in this version before. So if you're working, I don't know if the last update of X9 did this or not, but if you're working with X8, this tip would work for you in that case, and that's what it would show. Well, there you go. Kind of a tip that you saw it live. I didn't plan on this little hiccup, but we got through it. We got around it, and that's the contextual framing for additions that I like to show, just so the framers and the everybody kind of understands what is happening with this project. If you have suggestions for tips or how maybe faster ways to do something, how to show this or that, leave them in the comments below. I would love to get back to you on that with a tip. If you like the tips I've been sharing, I would always appreciate the encouragement. This is Tim Schrock from Design Build Solutions with your Tech Tip Tuesday. Thanks for watching.